Yes. Pro Beez TV. Pro Beez joined by the Gym Gooner. Benfica, we've got a draw with Arsenal, 1-1. What'd you make of the game?
Horrible game, man. Horrible game. It's one of those games where I don't want to jinx it, but I feel like if it was any other team, I would have said it's going to be one of those games where it's going to come back and bite us. Very, very frustrating, very lackluster. I felt like the tails were up and the confidence from the Leeds game just did not transfer into this game in the slightest. Especially Aubameyang, I thought, with his hat-trick, how did he miss that chance, man, at the start?
Yes, I couldn't believe it myself, honestly. I was just waiting for the net to bulge, and when he put it wide, I was like, are you serious? Are you serious? Concentration.
Yeah, it was not a good day, man, for me. I mean, a lot of people will probably say in a two-legged game, a 1-1 draw with the away goal is not the worst score, which really and truly it isn't. But we just looked so lethargic, so no cutting edge. I mean, I say that, but it would have been a different story if Aubameyang took any of his chances. And like I said, it was just weird that he didn't.
No, definitely. I thought we were slow. Remember last time I was talking about when we start fast.
Yeah.
You know what type of game it's going to be. We saw that against Leeds, but we started slow. Maybe it was like I don't know. When it's a European game, the pace is a little bit more technical. It's a little bit more strategic, and maybe it was that. But I would really say that we just weren't sharp enough attacking wise. Arsenal, even though we've had some good moments this season, I'm still not 100% happy with how we attack. Ceballos takes like six touches before passing. 6 touch Ceballos, that's what I call him. 6 touches and then a spin, and then a pass. And you can't do that.
I thought he was one of the better players for us. In my opinion, I felt like he did take too many touches, which is just the way he plays by the looks of it. But I felt like he was one of the players, the more positive players. Xhaka really frustrated me today. It was like we may as well have played El Neni because the amount of passes that he made backwards.
Yeah.
Like it's like he had quavers on his foot. Like it was just curling backwards every time.
That's how Arsenal play, though. Arsenal, they've got this idea about them that it's about retaining the ball. So what they do is they pass back and then they pass sideways. So it looks like we're keeping the ball, but it can be frustrating because you're sitting and you're watching and you're like, hold on a minute. Why don't you just look forward and create space that way? And when you release the ball quickly, then you have more options more options up front. Then you're more likely to score goals. That's why we don't score a lot of goals like we used to, because the build-up is far too slow from back to front.
Martinelli, when he came on, I mean, I was messaging you saying, has he had a touch? And I wasn't saying it in a bad way in a bad way towards him. Nobody gave him the ball. Nobody gave him the ball. Tierney, when he came on, he just looked frustrated. And it looked like him and Martinelli hadn't played together. It was just, I felt like it was just a nothing game, but it was a game where we should have took our chances and put it to bed. Do you know, like obviously we've got City on the weekend,
Sunday,
and then we're gonna play Benfica again after that. But then on that weekend we've got Leicester. So had we been able to get, an advantage in this game, we would have been more focused, a bit more upbeat for the City game. God knows what's going to happen in that game. But then you go back to the Benfica game, like the second leg, and you would have thought, it doesn't, we can pick ourselves back up because we've got that lead and move from there. And then again, focus on the Leicester game. But now it's just 3-4 games in a row where it's going to be hard work. 3 games in a row. Benfica.
Yeah.
Man City on the weekend, Benfica next Thursday, and then again Leicester. So it's just.
I did kind of question why he played the same lineup Arteta. Do you think he kind of made the wrong selection? Because you know who we're playing on Sunday, and we need to be at it with City. We're going to be chasing them, and then we're going to have to break on account to score goals. Let's face it, we're not going to be retaining the ball against City. It's going to be a hard game. I felt like he could have mixed up a bit, Arteta.
For me, to be fair, I was happy that he stuck with the same team. One, it worked really well against Leeds. And if we played the same way we played against Leeds, we would have battered this team. Benfica were rubbish.
They're crap.
So
crap.
so negative. So negative.
They were like they've got nothing in it. There's nothing really there either as well. There was nothing.
Yeah, they were like Spurs without Kane. That's what they looked like. They were just lucky to get that penalty shot. To be honest with you, it's two things for me. One, the leading up to the corner that got the penalty, what's Smith Rowe doing dilly-dallying on the ball at the back? Just get rid.
Yeah.
Forget all the intricate stuff. Just get rid. But obviously, they've tried to play it out. It's gone for a corner. They've took that little short corner. And to be fair, the second, looking at it from a few different times, I just feel like it's come more off his like pec, more his chest. But you know, VAR and all that, and decisions with Arsenal, you know, we could talk about that until we win the league. To be honest with you, that's what it is. The penalty, the goal we scored, how that took so long by VAR to look at.
It's a joke, isn't it?
What are they looking at?
What are they checking? How can we screw Arsenal? How can we remove the goal from them? In a way that doesn't look too big. Basically, it's a joke. It's a joke. You know, you mentioned Smith Rowe, right? And he needs to. Okay, I'm not being overly critical here, but Odegaard is spraying some passes. You can see once he settles in with a few more games, he's shown glimpses, right? That he can offer another dimension with that extra bit of quality, right?
Yeah.
Smith Rowe is also good in the 10, but I feel like Smith Rowe, he needs to improve his passing because the amount of times, right, that I have watched him play, he's always just pushing the ball slightly and not making sure that the ball gets to the player with enough power. So his passes lack power, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. And he needs to cut that out because there's been a few occasions where that's been costly for us. You see what I'm saying? You know, or it's presented opportunities for the opposition. So he needs to make sure that the ball gets to the player he's trying to pass to, you know?
Yeah.
Because Odegaard, what I'm seeing, he's pretty decisive. If Aubameyang was sharper, right, you know, it would have been assist City for Odegaard tonight, you know? So
what do you think happened with Aubameyang? Did you think he was just tired or?
That's Aubameyang. That's just Aubameyang right now. Aubameyang at 31, you know, he's blowing hot and cold. He's had some cracking seasons for us, but he's on a decline. Let's just tell the truth. You know, he's over 30 now. He's on a decline, right? However, he can still score goals, but I think with Aubameyang, it's, you know, you've got to kind of take it with a pinch of salt. You know, he more time he's going to score the goal that's decisive, right? But then sometimes you get games where he's not 100% zoned in, and that miss just showed that he just weren't concentrating. You know,
but how? Like I cannot put my.
He's done it before though. Yeah.
Like he didn't have to do anything. He could have just left his foot out, and the ball would have hit his leg and gone in.
Yeah. Even when he went through, right, with that through ball, he should hit with his left foot straight away and just lift the ball over the goalkeeper, right? But he chose to check in, and the chance is gone. You know what I'm saying? So
that's what I'm saying. Like Aubameyang is one of the most instinctive finishers there's been in the last probably 10 years. If you look at all his goals and how he scores them, but up until this season, he just looks like he doesn't look like himself. He doesn't look like I can't even put it down to confidence. I can't put it down to confidence because you've just come off the back of a hat-trick. That easy tap in there gives you the extra boost for the next one and the next one. So I felt like that played on his mind. But when you see a striker cutting back so many times, you just know the confidence isn't there. Because for any striker, the first direction you want to go is forward. Whether it's running with the ball, without the ball, or shooting. So
it could have been that new tattoo, man, that put him off, man.
it doesn't summit to him, man, because it didn't look the same. It didn't look the same anymore.
You know what I mean? It's just no. Do you know what? It is frustrating, and we've seen games. You know, we've seen Arsenal play so many games like this. We're in control. We're in control. We're in control. The opposition's doing nothing. What do you know? A big incident happens. They score a goal, and then we're having to chase the game. It happens all the time. Like I've seen it so many times over the years. But
too many times.
But this time, look, we didn't lose. You know, we'll take consolation that we didn't lose, and we'll take consolation that Benfica are a poor team. You know, I'll tell the truth. The defense is all over the place. They've got not much going forward. Everton looked a bit sharp. We need to watch him in the return leg. But otherwise, you know, we should just be dealing with them. You see, for Tonglen's side with Saka, mate, that's joy all day. We'll get joy all day down that side. You know, we've targeted him in the first game. You see the second game, we just need to overload that side.
Yeah. I think, to be fair, the fact that there's still 2 legs going on in this competition will favour us. I feel like Arteta will be able to take a lot away from this game and come and set up the team the right way. I don't think he'll go with the same formation or the same team for the second leg. I think based on obviously what happens on Sunday, I feel like he will have Pepe or Lacazette started. But I mean, like I said, or like you said earlier about the team, I think he clearly has one eye on the game against City on Sunday, because if not, I feel like if we were playing someone else and not City, he would have started Lacazette in this game. Maybe have him through the middle and have Aubameyang on the left, like it's been, you know, earlier in the season. But I feel like Lacazette is starting on Sunday against City, and he's obviously just gonna go with that idea of, like you said, playing on the counter really against City.
Yeah, because you know against City, right? I think crucially, we'll talk about it like in a preview or whatever. But against City, you can see crucially that we need to make sure that we look after Gundogan going forward, breaking from midfield, right? And then on the right-hand side, you've got Foden. He might play on the right or the left. I don't know, probably the right. So he brought Tierney back in view of that to give him some minutes to get ready for Foden, right? So on the left-hand side, whoever's playing on that left-hand side is going to have to work hard and track him back to get, you know, Foden out of the game. So it's going to be tough, man. I ain't going to lie to you, but nothing's impossible.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you got to look at obviously the last 2 games we played against them, which was the FA Cup semi-final where we beat them, and then obviously earlier this season they did beat us, but it was only 1-0. Obviously a loss is a loss at the end of the day, but for us to go to the Etihad, where normally with a team like this we're getting rolled over. I mean, I think it was just a one chance with Sterling, wasn't it? Sterling scored in the 1-0.
The bounce, I think the bounce went over, and then it was a bounce. I think it was that went.
Oh no, that was last season. Louis got
sent off. Yeah. This season, I can't even quite remember what who scored the goals. But yeah, I do remember against the City game. It was a bit flat from us. I do remember that. But you know, this is the crunch time of the season. See, Arsenal every February, will either collapse or the season just ends right there. So from February on to the end of the season, this is the time where, you know, we have to stand up and be counted. You know, 100%. The time now. So let's see what happens, man. So you think we can win on Sunday?
We'll have to do a different preview for that.
Right. You just swerved that question, yeah? Just swerve the answer.
Listen, based on what I've seen today, I probably will watch it from behind my sofa or something, because the way City are playing, like you know what I mean? The way, like you just said, like they've got Sterling on one side, Foden on the other side. They're going to interchange somewhere through the game anyway. But then you've got Gundogan, who, for me, is player of the season.
Ramsey 2021.
How's he? He's just gone to a next level
from midfield. Yeah, the goals. Yeah. Need to pick him up. And that's where Partey would have been useful, but
Yeah.
Partey is turned into Darren Anderton, so I don't know.
Allow it, man.
Yeah, he's eating too much fufu and jollof now that it's come to London, man. It's affecting his, his body now. You know what I mean?
Trust me. You should have just stuck on that paella diet.
Out in Spain, man. All right, man. Gym Gooner, thanks for your time, man. Pro Beez TV. Subscribe.